One of the coolest things about animals is that there is literally no place on Earth where they haven't figured out how to survive. You can go to the top of a mountain or the bottom of the ocean, and there will still be an astounding array of creatures making a living for themselves. But there's one place where it's very easy to forget that fact: human developments. Oftentimes, people think of our society as separate from nature. But today, we're going to show you a fascinating example of just how wrong that idea is. My name is Harrison, and this is Evan. We're twin brothers on a mission to help you become an insider in the natural world. And one of the best ways to build that insider connection is to take a closer look at the mind-blowing amount of biodiversity that lives right among us every day. Something we had a very unexpected chance to do during a recent production trip in Louisiana. We had just gotten back from a long night of shooting, but we still had some energy in the tank, so Evan and I decided to poke around for a little bit around the place we were staying, because we just can't help ourselves. Mind you, this is a downtown area not far outside the city of New Orleans, so we weren't expecting much. But by the time this night was over, we knew there was no way we could not share this adventure with you. Honestly, this is not a video we planned on making, but I'm glad we did, because not 10 feet from our hotel, Evan called out the first find of the night.
Ooh, check this out. This is hilarious that we can find amphibians here. We are literally right in front of our hotel right now, and we are still finding some incredible wildlife. This cute little guy is an eastern narrowmouth toad. Now, what's funny is they're actually not true toads. They're in a completely separate family of amphibians, Microhylidae, the narrowmouth frogs. And micro is a good way to describe these guys because they only get about 35 millimeters in length, just under 1.5 inches at a maximum size. So this is close to about as big as this species can get. And as you might imagine, for an amphibian this small, they have a ton of predators. So they have a few different ways of defending themselves at their tiny size. For one thing, they only come out at night. They're a nocturnal species. During the day, they're going to be underground in burrows for the most part, well out of the reach of most predators. But if their tiny size and burrowing habits don't do the trick, they can also secrete a toxic substance from their skin that can give predators a pretty upset stomach if they were to eat one. So even an amphibian this small is able to hold its own out here. And where we are, as you're seeing right in front of our hotel, is a very urban environment. But what's amazing is that these narrowmouth frogs actually breed in areas just like this. They don't need pristine habitat in order to breed. And it's just incredible to me that even in such a developed and disturbed area, we're still able to find amphibians, which generally are pretty sensitive organisms. They do take in moisture through their skin, so any kind of toxins or pollutants out here in the environment can affect these guys, but even still, they're able to hold on pretty well in habitats just like this. This is an incredible little find, especially for this area, and I bet where there are little guys like this that lots of animals would like to eat, we might be able to find some bigger predators as well, looking to capitalize on a little guy like this who would be just a snack for a lot of the snakes or birds of prey out here. So we'll let him get back on his way, back under the cover of the tall grass here, but that is absolutely incredible. All right, buddy, as you were, have a good night.
We were hearing a ton of amphibians calling from a drainage ditch not far from our hotel, and riding the excitement of our first find, we decided to investigate. After making the grueling 2-minute hike down the street, we quickly discovered exactly what the narrowmouth toads were afraid of out here.
All right. Who are you? Woo! Hello. So that is a little yellow-bellied water snake. And normally Evan and I hate background noise. We try and keep our segments as natural sounding as possible. But I want to show where we are right now because it's kind of blowing my mind a little bit that we just caught a snake literally in a downtown area here in southern Louisiana. This is probably the most common species of water snake we've found on this trip so far. But the fact that we're literally in a parking lot surrounded by businesses and we're still finding wildlife is actually one of the reasons we wanted to make this video in the first place. Our goal is really to highlight just how many animals are able to adapt to these urban environments. And what we want to find out is, how are they making it out here? And my guess is that what this individual was doing is hunting frogs. Even among all the car sounds and this giant truck behind us, we're still hearing a ton of frog breeding activity, which in itself is kind of amazing to me. And the fact that this guy looks like a healthy snake, and actually, he's not too upset, even though I just pulled him out of the water here, is a very good sign that as we continue to search through these habitats, we may get some really interesting stuff. This maybe is the weirdest place I've ever caught a water snake, but I'll take it. All right, get back to hunting, buddy. And I'm very curious what other animals are doing to survive out here. Because I'll tell you what, if we were back home, there would never be a snake in something like this.
Seeing both prey and predator species out in this tiny waterway was unbelievable for us, but it's no accident. Both eastern narrowmouths and plain-belly water snakes are remarkably adaptable animals, and digging into their biology reveals why. The narrowmouth toads can thrive out here because they can breed in just about any standing water that is free of predators, which makes this lawn a perfectly acceptable spot. The secret to the snake's success comes down to two things: their wide habitat preferences and their incredibly diverse diet. Plain-belly water snakes can live in everything from creeks, swamps, and lakes to forests and many urban areas, and their diet is just as diverse, as they feed on frogs, fish, and a host of invertebrates, anything they can overpower. We could have been happy ending here, but Evan heard a familiar call echoing from another part of the canal. And when we went to investigate, we found something amazing.
Okay, now this is pretty crazy. Down here in this drainage ditch is a killdeer chick. Now, killdeers are these little wading birds, and actually, it's gonna be hard to hear over the sound of the truck behind us, but if you hear that high-pitched peeping, that's actually this bird's mother trying to distract us. Now, killdeer have a fascinating behavior where if a predator is approaching their nest, they will run around, make as much noise as possible, trying to draw predators away from the nest site, and they'll even sometimes mimic having a broken wing. They'll flop around on the ground, shake one of their wings to make it look like they're injured, and appear as if they're an easier target for a predator, and again, it's all to draw attention away from their precious chicks. Now take a look. It's very small, and of course we are not going to touch this adorable little baby. We want to leave it undisturbed because babies are very prone to stress. But right there, look at how cute it is. Just a little fella. Now the mom is freaking out, and understandably so. We're definitely not gonna hang around here too long. But that is so strange to see a killdeer nesting in such a developed area. This is really not an ideal location to be raising young. There's a lot of disturbance here, cars and trucks, loud noises all the time, but they're still able to hang on here. It's really amazing. Now I think before the mom has too much of a stroke, we're gonna leave the baby be. That's a crazy observation for such a developed area.
Killdeer are known to be able to nest in human-modified areas like this. But this was truly next-level adaptability, and finding a healthy chick here really put something into perspective for us. This little drainage ditch, which looked so barren we didn't even bother to glance at it before, is actually a fully functional habitat with a whole community of animals carving out a living for themselves. And they're not just surviving either, they're flourishing, reproducing even. It's stuff like this that makes exploring for wildlife so much fun, even in the most unlikely places, because you really never know what will show up. And as if we needed any more proof of that point, what we found next was so unexpected that it basically inspired this video.
Oh yeah, there he is. See him?
Yep.
There
Hey, buddy.
is a red-eared slider in this, like, drainage ditch. Actually, if you can light it.
Don't know how well you can see him right now.
Go, there he is. How deep is this?
It doesn't look too terribly deep.
Really hoping not to soak my boots in this trash water here. Wow. Big red.
He's huge.
He or she.
Probably she, actually.
Hello. Yep, that's a female. Holy cow, she's huge. Look at the size of this turtle. All right, I'm coming out. There we go. This is a very nice adult red-eared slider. I'm gonna crouch down here. There's another one, but it's not a red-ear. Are you rolling?
Yep.
Okay, that looks like a musk. Hold on, I have to juggle. Got him. Oh, look at that. It's a common musk turtle. This is ridiculous. We just pulled out 2 species of turtles. In my right hand, we have a little common musk turtle, and in my left hand, we have a red-eared slider, and 2 beautiful individuals at that. Now, these 2 are very commonly found across the southeastern United States. And what's really cool about the red-eared slider is that they're actually one of the world's most adaptable turtle species, and also the world's most popular pet turtle, which has contributed to them becoming the planet's worst invasive turtle species. Now, that is not true of the common musk turtle, but they are very adaptable in their own right. So it's not totally surprising to see them in an urban environment, but to find them in such a small waterway is absolutely incredible to me. And the really impressive thing is both of these turtles are stunning. They're healthy, their shells are complete and strong. This musk turtle has quite a bit of an attitude, and what I imagine both of them are feeding on out here is small fish and invertebrates. There are actually a surprising number of prey items moving around in this small body of water, so these turtles are actually able to get a decent feed in. This red ear is a nice sized adult female. I can tell because her plastron, the bottom of her shell, is very smooth and flat, and she has tiny little claws in the front. A male red-eared slider would have much longer claws, but this guy, conversely, is a little male because his plastron, if I just tilt him up a little bit, is concave. So that's a great way to tell male musk turtles from females. And this just goes to show how biodiverse Louisiana really is, that both of these animals are able to make a living in an urban setting like this. And I would love to spend more time watching these animals, finding out what they're eating, how they're making a living out here, because it just blows my mind, the amount of reptile and amphibian diversity that exists out here. Now I think, especially because this female is quite shy, we're only gonna get a few shots, then get them both back into the environment so they can go about their evenings and get a little meal in. But how about that? Something I never expected. 2 different turtle species at the exact same time, literally in a shopping center. Can't beat that. All right, I'd say you 2 have more than earned your freedom. Now, because the female is still in her shell, I don't want to put her right in the water, so I'm just gonna leave her here on the bank, and she can make her way back into the water at her leisure. And then for the musk turtle, are you gonna swim? Go ahead, buddy. All right, the musk turtle's back. She can head in whenever she's ready. I'm super pumped about that. 2 turtles in 1 little drainage ditch. That's nuts.
If the insane diversity of creatures we found tonight taught us anything, it's that you can find examples of unexpected urban wildlife pretty much anywhere you go. All over the world, animals are figuring out how to survive alongside us just like we are with them. And the more our worlds seem to collide, the clearer it becomes that they're really one and the same. We don't exist separately from nature, we're a part of it. And that means there's usually wildlife much closer to home than you might think. Seriously, go try it. Keep a sharp eye out, and I bet you'll be blown away by how much life exists right outside your door. But if you thought the diversity here in Louisiana was crazy, just wait until you see what you can find down in the tropics. We filmed a video very similar to this one on our friend's agricultural ranch in Ecuador last year, and trust me when I tell you, this unassuming habitat was richer than we ever imagined. Check out this video to see what we found. This is one mission you don't want to miss. And with that, we hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.